This is my interpretation of your experience. In Erik Erikson's 8 stages of psychosocial development theory, he explores how we grow psychologically, socially, and emotionally. The theory goes from birth to death, and at each stage, a conflict arises. Depending on how the conflict is resolved determines the virtue to be developed. For example, the incident with you losing the key when you were 6 years old is catastrophic to you because you experienced this during Erikson's 4th stage of development, which takes place between the ages of 6 and 11. The conflict in this stage is industry versus inferiority, and the virtue produced is competency. If the conflict is resolved successfully, you will grow into an adult who feels confident in your abilities to attempt increasingly complex tasks and be independent, therefore having a healthy concept of self. This 4th stage is critical in development because in the prior 3 stages, the child is mostly reliant on the caretaker or family. Erikson states during this stage of development, it is natural for the child to interact socially with people outside the home, either at play or through school. You asked your grandmother for permission to play, and she told you no because you would lose the key. So when your grandmother said no, you cannot go out and play, you came up with a plan to have your neighbor hold the key. Problem solving is a core feature during this 4th stage. Your neighbor then suggests you pin the key to your shirt, which was not your initial idea, but you wanted to play, so you pinned the key to your shirt anyway. When you return home from play, you realize the key was gone. As a result, your grandmother tells you that you will be punished by God. It is my belief that your grandmother, unbeknownst to her, stunted your growth by harshly scolding you with her words. Therefore, you are still a 6-year-old girl socially, psychologically, and emotionally. Due to this experience, you have been conditioned to believe whatever plan you come up with will never work because it did not work for you when you were 6. This is the reason why you don't trust that little girl voice within you, because your earliest memory of this little girl being clever and coming up with a plan, again, normal behavior at this age, failed miserably, which is why you describe this experience as catastrophic. Instead of growing to become an adult who is confident and competent in your own abilities, you constantly have feelings of inadequacy, inferiority, shame, and doubt. You are like the experiment with the elephant in the cage. When the gate is lifted, the elephant attempts to go through the gate and receives an electric shock. Now, when the elephant sees the gate open, the elephant does not try. Why? Because the elephant has been conditioned to believe that it will receive an electric shock when it attempts to go to the gate. Just like you, every time your clever, smart aleck mind come up with a plan to do, to be, to grow, and to have more in life, this key experience comes back to your mind. You started the session by saying, when I lost the key, I lost me. And I agree with that statement because spiritually, a key represents freedom because a key unlocks something. Unfortunately, when you lost the key, you lost your freedom spiritually, emotionally, socially, and psychologically. Fortunately, as your coach, it is my work to help you get your freedom back.